Hey beer nerds, welcome to another Ramble with Ryan. I had to do a lot of research for my two-part series on homebrewing. Links are going to be in the description down below if you haven't seen those yet. And I went down quite an internet rabbit hole that I wanted to discuss with you today. Specifically, I was looking at these smart brewing systems popping up on websites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And there was some news last week that Keurig, the countertop coffee giant, they're entering the homebrewing space and are starting to develop their own countertop homebrewing system. Apparently, they have some patents around carbonated beverages and doing countertop system for those in the home. So, they're trying to get in on the home brewing upswing right now. I'll throw some links in the description below if you haven't heard of these things and want to check them out. But I was kind of wondering, what do y'all think of these systems that are popping up to do home brewing? I know I interact with a lot of home brewers on YouTube, and I've been home brewing now for about a year. So, just what do you think of these things? To me, they kind of seem to be operating in this weird market space. They have a lot of really cool features like temperature controls and recipe databases, and a couple of them even do like small 1 to 2 gallon kegs. So, it's a really easy way to get into kegging. But, from what I can see, they're really, really expensive to start out. The Pico Brew is $800 to start for their most basic package, and then the iGulu, which I think just wrapped up their campaign, is $550 to start. And they only make 1 to 2 gallon batches at a time, which is just pretty small. I've only been brewing for about a year, but between my starting equipment and 5 batches of 5 gallon, just extract beer, I'm pretty sure I haven't spent $550 yet. So to just start with 1 to 2 gallon batch kits, it seems very, very expensive compared to the alternative. And if you wanted to do just 1 to 2 gallon batches, it's even cheaper to start doing that stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering who's their target market, because it's so much cheaper to get started with, my setup of a kettle and 2 5-gallon buckets, that I just don't really know if these are going to be overly successful. But I'm sure if I were as big of a nerd about coffee as I am about beer, I probably wouldn't understand people who use Keurig machines all the time. So my guess is these things are probably targeted towards, your everyday gadget nerd who just really likes craft beer. The other thing I wonder is, and if someone who's had a lot more experience brewing can comment below, but I'm wondering if these things might be good for testing recipe variants. They're kind of quick, easy to use systems that gives you 1 to 2 gallon batches. So I feel like you could test a lot of new recipes or tweak recipes without a ton of investment. And maybe that little set it and forget it kind of model is a little bit better for recipe testing. They also give you a recipe database, or each one of them is promising to do that. So that's kind of a cool setup. And but one thing I did notice is none of these at all help with cooling the wort after it's done. Some of them just ask you to seal the wort in one of their mini kegs and leave it to cool for up to 24 hours before pitching your yeast. I don't know if I trust the seal that much, I haven't had to dump out any beer yet because of infection, but I'm just so careful every time, and I don't know if just leaving wort in the middle of a sealed keg is gonna be foolproof every time, Anyway, I'm thinking about brewing a saison next. Saisons are my favorite family of beer styles, and I'm still just doing some pretty basic extract kits, and I've been a little nervous to do a saison as a home brew because I was nervous about being disappointed, but this coffee stout came out great. Haven't had a really bad beer in my bunch yet. So my first batch came out a little undercarbed, but other than that, I've just had some great experience. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. Maybe I'll let you know how it goes. I don't know. This is not really a homebrew channel, but I've just been talking about homebrew so much lately and then digging into it so much, so I figured I'd make a little side video here, just kind of talking about these crazy little systems that are coming along that are, if anything, they're gonna make homebrewing really, really accessible, which I guess is probably a good thing for the homebrew community overall. So I guess that's all for now. Stay curious, beer nerds, and cheers.